Did I scare you guys? Good. Sinister is a 2012 supernatural horror film directed by Scott Derrickson, and it's starring Ethan Hawke as this true crime writer who moved into this new house with his family. And this house happens to be where these murders took place, and Ethan Hawke discovers these Super 8 home movies that are very disturbing in the attic, and then he soon discovers this disturbing entity in them. So I'm a big fan of Scott Derrickson as a filmmaker. He's directed some of the best horror films in the past couple decades, like The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Deliver Us from Evil, and the newest, The Black Phone. This man knows how to helm a horror movie. When it comes to setting up a scare, he knows how to build up that suspense, and he knows what makes the audience tick, which is what I love about him. He knows what scares an audience, and his sense of timing with the scare is impeccable as well. And Scott Derrickson's career is one that I feel like has gotten better over time. You know, he started out, he made Hellraiser Inferno, I believe, in 2000, and that was kind of a piece of shit, but we don't talk about it. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about it. It's in the past. But now he just makes banger after banger after banger, and I feel like Blumhouse should just keep him around to keep their brand going, because Blumhouse has kind of been lately. So Derrickson as a director has gotten better over time, but so has his writing. This movie has such clever writing. I mean, his family in this movie, Ethan Hawke's family, doesn't know that this is a crime scene house that they just moved into. He's withholding it. And we know from the very beginning of the movie, when the cop says, "I find this in very bad taste," that this is where some bad shit went down. It makes us as an audience feel very guilty, like Ethan Hawke feels, you know, and I feel like that's such a clever way to set up this story. You see this man just digging himself a deeper and deeper hole, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? Everything about this movie is effective in the setup. The film gets progressively more intense over time, and Derrickson just knows how to tighten his grip on an audience and really keep their attention. I actually watched this movie not too long ago with my girlfriend, and it was her first time seeing this movie. It was late at night, and she was freaking the fuck out. Derrickson really knows how to work with an editor in his horror movies, because you could tell he's really good at building up the suspense for a scare, but he's also really good at subverting your expectations. Now, the Super 8 movies that Ethan Hawke watches in this film, they're super unsettling. And what's even more unsettling is the incredible sound design they have going in the background. The score on this movie has this repeating musical rhythm where it's like dun 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 dun. Like I don't know if I'm doing it justice, but it almost sounds like a guitar or like drums. I don't know. It's like this dun 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 dun. I don't know. I probably sound like an idiot right now. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The biggest thing with horror movies working is the sound design, so when you pair really good sound design with really good visuals, you're just unstoppable at that point. Ethan Hawke and everyone in this movie, his wife, the two kids were really surprising actually. They were really good, and they're all great at delivering these very realistic performances that you don't really see in a lot of horror movies today. Ethan Hawke, in certain moments of the movie where he is losing his sanity, he has these subtle nuances in his face that was very reminiscent of Jack Nicholson in The Shining. He just does these little tweaks and quirks in his face that are just very Nicholson in my opinion, which is a huge compliment to him. Now let's talk about the villain of this movie, Bagul, and he looks like if Michael Jackson had a terrible plastic surgeon. Bagul is just bagooling all over the place in this movie. He's bagooling on the children. He's supposed to be the eater of children, as someone in the movie says. He's supposed to be this like ancient demon thing, I don't even know, but he's very creepy, and the kids, the ghost kids, are very creepy in this movie too. The makeup for him and the makeup for the ghost kids, very well done. I mean, everything about this movie with the lighting I thought was really well done, especially someone who pays attention to that sort of thing. The acting all around is really good too, And the deputy of the movie is a standout for sure. He's funny as hell. He brings the comedic elements when you really need it, especially when tension's getting pretty high. You don't really know where the movie's going most of the time. I will say the ending, though, gets a little silly and doesn't derail the entire movie, but it's just not as good as the rest of it. If you want a solid quality scare fest this Halloween, this is the movie for you. I'm going to give Sinister 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of 31 Days of Horror.